Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Human Centered Experience. I'm your host. Today, we're going to talk about a shift that is keeping me up at night. It's a shift that is arguably more disruptive than mobile and perhaps even more disruptive than the internet itself when it comes to the fundamental economics of how we buy and sell. We are talking about the transition from the attention economy to the agentic economy. Let me paint a picture for you. Think about the last time you went to Amazon or walked into a Walmart. You went in with a mission. Maybe you needed AA batteries. Maybe you needed a new charger for your phone. But what happened? You bought the batteries, but you also bought a 3 pack of compelling price socks. You saw a lightning deal on a portable speaker you didn't know you needed. You saw a banner for a new book. In the retail world, we call this the end cap effect. In the digital world, it's the recommendation engine. It's the art of the impulse buy. Here is a statistic that matters. Depending on whose data you trust, Amazon, Walmart, or industry watchdogs, impulse purchases account for roughly 40% of all e commerce revenue. 40%. That is not just icing on the cake. That is the entire profit margin for many of these platforms. It relies on one specific variable, human distractibility. It relies on the fact that we are visual, emotional, and frankly, terrible at sticking to a list. Now consider the future we are racing toward. A future where you don't go to Amazon.com, you don't open the app, you simply say to your AI agent, whether that's on your phone, your glasses, or your kitchen counter, order me AA batteries, 4 stars or above, best price delivered tomorrow. The agent goes out, it finds the batteries, it executes the transaction via an API, it creates a service blueprint that is entirely invisible to you. Guess what didn't happen? You didn't see the socks. You didn't see the portable speaker. You didn't see the ad. When the human is removed from the loop, the impulse buy evaporates. So the question we are exploring today is what happens to Amazon, Shopify, Etsy, and Walmart when their most profitable customer isn't a human anymore, but a piece of code. Let's unpack the mechanics here. Recently, I used an AI agent in Perplexity's Comet browser to search for family vacation itinerary, and all I had to do was give the prompt with all the contextual details in it. It was amazing to have an assistant do all the legwork for me and browse through multiple travel websites and look for matching airline tickets, hotels, airport transfer, even the experiences like snorkeling and local food. When an AI agent shops for you, we are effectively seeing the B2B-fication of customer shopping. In B2B procurement, emotion is removed. It's about specs, price, logistics. When you unleash an agent on the market, you're turning your household procurement into a B2B operation. The agent is ruthless. It has blinders on. It doesn't care about the beautiful UX design of the website. It doesn't care about the emotional storytelling in the banner ad. It cares about data integrity. Is the item in stock? Is the price competitive? Is the delivery window guaranteed? If you're a user experience designer listening to this, it should terrify you, or at least excite you to change your career path. Because for the last 15 years, we have optimized for eyes. We have optimized for time on site. We use Gestalt principles to guide the eye to the add to cart button. But an agent has no eyes. It reads code. So what happens to the platforms? Amazon and Walmart face the biggest risk here. They are the kings of everything store. They rely on volume and cross-selling. If they lose the ability to cross-sell, the risk becoming what I call dumb supply chains. Imagine a world where Amazon is just a massive API for OpenAI or Apple. The customer relationship, the experience lives with the AI agent. Amazon just moves the box. They lose the ad revenue. They lose the data on your browsing habits, and they lose the brand loyalty. They become a utility, like the water company. You need water, but you don't love the water pipes. Now compare that to Etsy or Shopify. Their problem is different. Their problem is discovery. People don't go to Etsy to buy generic item A. They go to browse, to feel, to discover something they didn't know existed. If I tell my AI agent, buy me a unique handcrafted vase, how does the agent decide what is unique? How does it measure artistic value? If these platforms aren't careful, the agent will default to the metrics it can measure: shipping speed and price. And that crushes the small artisan on Etsy who takes 2 weeks to ship but makes a beautiful product. So is it all doom and gloom? No. But I believe we are heading towards a massive bifurcation, a splitting of the road in e commerce. We're going to see a split between the chore and the experience. Category one, the chore: toilet paper, detergent, batteries, plain white t shirts. This is 80% of what we buy. This will move almost entirely to agents. For this category, the customer experience isn't about a pretty website, it's about API reliability. Amazon needs to stop designing for humans here and start designing for bots. They need to provide agent ready data. If an agent tries to buy from Walmart and the API fails or the stock data is wrong, that agent will learn to avoid Walmart. Category two, the experience. This is where Shopify and Etsy have a massive opportunity if they pivot correctly. If buying becomes automated, shopping becomes a luxury. Shopping becomes entertainment. If I don't have to spend time buying toothpaste, I have more time to spend looking at vintage watches or custom furniture. This is where the platform design must change. Future platforms for experience shopping shouldn't look like catalogs with search bars. Agents use search bars. Humans want immersive streams. Think TikTok meets QVC meets high-end retail. The future of Etsy isn't a grid of photos. It's a video-first, influencer-led, story-driven environment where the goal isn't efficiency. It's sort of inefficiency. It's about slowing the human down, making them feel, making them connect. Because that is the one thing the AI agent cannot do. It cannot feel the dopamine hit of finding a hidden gem. So for the corporate leaders listening, you need to decide right now. Are you selling a commodity which needs to be optimized for bots, or are you selling an experience which needs to be hyper optimized for human emotion? Being stuck in the middle is the kill zone. Now let's get tactical. How do platforms like Amazon prevent themselves from becoming a dumb pipe? How do they design for this future? Now, I see three major strategic pillars they need to build, and I would like to hear more from my audience. First is the gatekeeper model or the VIP entrance. We're already seeing the beginnings of this. Platforms will create specific protocols like a VIP entrance for AI agents. Amazon might say, okay, ChatGPT, you can shop our inventory, but we are going to charge a platform access fee for every API call. They might shift their monetization from ads to data access, which agents need. Basically, if you want to sell to the agent, you pay a toll. Second, proof of human deals. This is a fascinating UX concept. To keep the ad model alive, platforms might create deals that are digitally invisible to agents. Imagine a price that is encrypted or a flash sale that requires a complex human interaction, like watching a 15-second video to unlock a deal. This forces the human back into the loop. It says, sure, let your agent buy the toilet paper at full price, but if you come to the site, you get 20% off. It gamifies the return of the human to the platform. The third is the customer digital DNA. This is something I've touched on in my work regarding service blueprints. If Amazon wants to beat the external agent, they need to know you better than the agent does. They need to build a customer digital DNA that integrates everything: your past purchases, your returns, your browsing, even your media consumption on Prime Video or Paramount Plus. Then they become the agent. Instead of you asking Siri to buy clothes, Amazon predicts what you need before you ask. They ship it to your house with a label that says, try it. If you don't like it, put it back on the porch. They remove the shopping step entirely. They move from prescriptive You searching or predictive? Them sending it to you. As we wrap up, I want you to visualize your current service blueprint. You probably have a swim lane for customer actions. You have a swim lane for front stage employee actions. Now you need to add a new swim lane, the machine customer or B2M. You need to map out the journey for a customer who has zero emotions, infinite patience and processes, data in milliseconds. How does your brand appear to them? Is your data structured for them? And most importantly, how do you protect your margins when the impulse is gone? The companies that treat AI agents as just another channel will fail. The companies that recognize this as a fundamental restructuring of the buyer-seller relationship, those are the ones who will define the next decade of commerce. This is the new frontier of human-centered experience, paradoxically, by understanding the non-human actor. Thanks for listening to my podcast. If you found this insightful, please subscribe, share, and check out my recent article on this topic on LinkedIn. As always, feel free to get in touch with me with comments, suggestions, and ideas. I'm Hitesh, and I'll see you next time.